So Arizona's Republican Senate candidate, Kari Lake, was on CNN last night and refused to say whether she lost the state's 2022 gubernatorial race. Take a look.
Did you lose the 2022 election for governor?
Why are we looking backward? I'm looking forward, Caitlin.
Because
I already
you've yet
know
to
what you're
concede that race.
Caitlin, I'm looking forward to what is coming up.
So you're not going to say whether or not you lost the 2022 race. Is that what I'm hearing?
You know what, Caitlin? You've seen thousands of interviews from me. I've answered that a million times. I'm looking forward.
You've actually yet to answer the question directly on whether you believe that you did lose the election.
Well, I want to make sure our elections are run properly, and I'm still in litigation, so I don't want to speak to that.
Her opponent, the Democratic opponent, Congressman Ruben Gallego, spent the weekend campaigning in counties that traditionally lean Republican. And Congressman Gallego joins us now. He's a Marine Corps combat veteran and a member of the House Armed Services Committee. Thank you for coming on the show.
Good morning.
How does the race look, and what are the issues you're running on that you think are breaking through?
Look, Arizona is a tight state. There are 300,000 more registered Republicans than Democrats. So we have to make sure that we are talking to everyone, Democrats, Republicans, and Independents. This is why we did that barnstorming. This is why I also visited 20 of the 22 federally recognized tribes. And what are we talking about? Well, we're talking about the choice of where Arizona gets to go. Do you want to have abortion rights going into the future so women can control their bodies? Then you need to vote for me, not for someone like Kari Lake, who is for an abortion ban. Do you want to deal with this election denialism? It's not just funny, but it's actually very serious. People have gotten death threats here in Arizona. I have a neighbor that works for the county. He's a county recorder. He ended up having to hire personal security. We've had people that are no longer running for office, Republicans, because they have had so much trauma pushed on by people like Kari Lake that people don't want to run for office anymore. So this is the kind of thing that you can either choose someone who upholds the Constitution of the United States, someone who's going to be there to really truly validate these elections like myself, or another election denier like Kari Lake. And then we just want to talk about in general, the future of Arizona. We need to continue to work to make sure that we have a secure water future, that we have secure borders, and we want to do that in a bipartisan way. Someone like Kari Lake, all she wants to do is divide, and she'll do anything and she'll say anything just to win, like we just saw right now.
Congressman, I know a lot of people in your state, and I'm hearing a lot of enthusiasm about voting. But one of the questions that has been raised, I was going to be in Arizona today. I'll be there over the weekend on a Get Out the Vote rally. But I keep hearing the question of immigration and how Arizona can be one of the leaders in how to get this right in a partisan way. Talk about how you've tried to be more unifying than those on the left or the right around this critical issue that directly impacts your state.
Well, I think the difference between me and Kari Lake is I approach this from an Arizona perspective, not a Democratic perspective, not a Republican perspective. So, working with our community leaders, our border mayors, this is why I've been endorsed by more border mayors than Kari Lake has. We've been are being supported by the largest police union in the state, because they know that we're going to work in a bipartisan manner and not just play politics with the border. Remember, there was a good border security compromise bill by the most conservative Republicans and Democrats together, and she rejected it. Why? Not because there was a better bill coming, but because she needed the border problem. She needed to continue to do this, to the point where, we had one mayor who started the campaign with her and is now endorsing us, because they understand that I'm here to actually get the work done. She's been to Mar-a-Lago more than she has to the border. And in Arizona voters understand that, and they want someone who's going to take the border seriously and not to use it as a political football like Kari Lake has.
Congressman, good morning. There are so many issues that could be decisive in this race. Immigration, you just mentioned, abortion rights, of course. But polls suggest that for most voters, top of mind remains the economy. What do you say when you encounter a voter there who has such fond memories of the Trump economy, who says that things were better then, and the facts may not support that, but that's the feeling that voter has? What's your argument?
Well, I think the worst thing we could do is to deny people what they're feeling, and I think it's very, when politicians do that, they're out of touch. I remind people that, first of all, I understand what they're going through. I grew up in a household, that was largely supported by my mom, who was a secretary, and myself. And I went to work after school to make sure that I could help out with my family. My first bed in about 7 years was my college dorm room bed. I slept on the floor of my apartment to help out my family. And so making sure that people understand that, I get what it feels like trying to put 40 hours a week together to make a living, or figuring out, how far you can drive by how much is in your wallet, and talk about what you have done and we're going to continue doing to make their lives better. For example, the fact that we are the people that really have gone after pharma. We have insulin that's now capped at $35 an hour. And we talk about what's happening in Arizona. Arizona right now has the lowest unemployment in the history of the state. And we still have more to do. We have to bring down the cost of housing to make sure people match that. But, there is a good story here, but we have to make sure people understand that this is hard. Inflation is hard, but we're working at it. Because we are the people that really are willing to fight for you, as well as fight the corporations. So we're very happy where the direction the campaign's going. Obviously, if you want to know more, want to help out the campaign, we are happy to take any support at GallegoForArizona.com.
Democratic candidate for U.S. Senate in Arizona, Congressman Ruben Gallego, thank you very much
Gracias.
for coming on the show. We appreciate it.